Once our transaction approves, we do have a certain amount of time that we are able to void or cancel this transaction before it's funded for. From the Void a Transaction page of your virtual terminal, you'll be able to attempt to cancel out the transaction. Normally, you can only void a transaction before it has been settled and funded for. Once we visit the page, we'll want to click Search to show us all the transactions we have ran today. Once the transactions are shown to us, all we need to do is select the transaction or transactions that we need to void by checking their box on the left-hand side. Then we'll click the Process Voids button down at the bottom of the page and it'll void out the transactions we have selected. We can refund transactions that have already been processed and settled and funded for within the system very quickly from the Refund a Transaction page. The logic is the same as voiding a transaction, however we'll have to set our date range back to a previous date where we actually have ran and settled transactions. Once we perform our search, our transactions will be shown to us. Instead of seeing a void checkbox, we now see a refund checkbox. We will want to check any transaction that we wish to have refunded. The dollar amount is in a text box and we are able to put our cursor in there and manipulate the dollar amount. This is helpful when issuing a partial refund or an amount that is not equal to the original transaction amount. After we process any transaction, we can access that transaction history by visiting the View Transactions page. From this page, we will be able to search for up to 2 years' worth of transaction history. There are options to narrow down and define our search if we want to be more specific. At the bottom of the page, we would set our date range and then click the search button to execute the search. Once the search is performed, the results will post in a display box below the search button. From here, we'll have access to almost all of our transaction detailed information, as well as on the far left-hand and right-hand sides, we'll have links for the transaction receipts. At the top of the display box, we will have options to view the results in its own web page or to download the transaction information into a spreadsheet. You can access your batch report history by visiting the View Batch Reports option, which is below the View Transactions button. From here, you'll be able to search for any batch report within the last 2 years on your account. You can search either by date range or you can select the batch number that you're wishing to retrieve. Once the batch report pulls up, you'll be able to see its contents as well as re-email it and be able to download its detailed results into a spreadsheet. There are other options under the virtual terminal menu for store and forward and for capturing transactions. These pages will only need to be accessed if running the applicable types of transactions. The Store and Forwards page allows you to manage transactions you have set up to process in the future. And the Capture a Transaction page will allow you to capture any outstanding authorizations on your account. You can also add Level 2 and Level 3 data to your transactions. Please be sure to watch the Level 2 and Level 3 training videos to understand how to add that information to your transactions. The next menu we'll take a look at is the Custom Reports menu. The Create Custom Report page will allow you to title as well as be able to specify what specific information you want to be included on your custom report. Hold your Control key to be able to make multiple selections. After the report has been created, the reports can be managed from the Modify Custom Report option. From here, we can select any custom report on the account from the drop-down menu at the top of the page and be able to look at and alter any of its information. At the bottom of the page, we can save any changes we have made to our custom report, as well as be able to delete the custom report if needs be. The Discretionary Data menu will allow you to create additional fields of information to be entered either through the virtual terminal or the shopping cart. Please be sure to check out the Discretionary Data training video to be able to understand how this applies to your virtual terminal and your shopping cart. The Account Management menu will give us the ability to send Paytrace some feedback, as well as be able to manage the design of how our Paytrace account looks. You will also have access to the Paytrace logo, which you can grab and put on your website. You will be able to modify your receipt to be able to add custom lines of header and footer information. The Receipt Printer page will allow you to access your receipt printer's print speed, as well as printer type. The Security Settings page controls specific features of how your account operates. The timeout value controls how long, in seconds, you can be idle while logged into your Paytrace account before the system will automatically require you to log back in. There are also security measures in place that can allow you to require specific pieces of transaction information in order to help your transactions qualify and stay at low rates. The bottom of this page will allow us to select specific pieces of information that we can remove from our virtual terminal. You can hold your control key and make multiple selections here. Be sure to click the Save Settings button down at the bottom of the page to save any changes. Lastly, there are some additional resources and users guides at the bottom of the account management menu. If you have any questions or need to contact Paytrace for support, you can always click on your Support tab located in your top right corner next to your Log Out button. This concludes the Paytrace Professional training tutorial.